Hello everyone. So for this video I want to do something just a little bit differently. I want to kind of tell you a story. And in telling you this story, I want to kind of present it to you in such a way that it's designed to uh, get you ready for kind of opening up your mind to the opportunities that you're going to be presented. You know, as you're on the job hunt, uh, going from this phase to the next phase, whatever that may be for you, you're going to see some new opportunities. You're going to be put into some positions where you're going to be, given a job or working a job that, might be in an area that you're really good at, or might be in an area where, you're picking up skills and you're learning and growing. And, it's kind of one of our constant states as humans, right? That, we're kind of always growing and always learning and always changing. So as you're presented with these new opportunities and these new chances for growth, I want you to kind of remember this story. So I'd like to tell you this story, and it is kind of it's kind of an old story. So you may have heard this story or a version of this story in the past. But I'd like to tell you this story, and then maybe we can talk about what it means for all of you. So let's get into the story. But once a long time ago, there was a wise Zen master, and people from far and near would seek his counsel and ask him for his wisdom. Many would come and ask him to teach them, enlighten them in the way of Zen. He would seldom turn anyone away. One day, an important man, a man who was used to commanding respect and obedience, came to visit the master. "I have come today to ask you to teach me about Zen. Open my mind to enlightenment." The tone of the important man's voice was one used to getting his own way. The Zen master smiled and said that they should discuss the matter over a cup of tea. When the tea was served, the master poured his visitor a cup. He poured, and he poured, and he poured, and the tea rose to the rim and began to spill over the table, and finally onto the robes of the wealthy man. Finally, the visitor shouted, "Enough! You are spilling the tea all over. Can't you see the cup is full?" The master stopped pouring and smiled at his guest. "You are like this teacup, so full that nothing more can be added. Come back to me when the cup is empty. Come back to me with an empty mind. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" So what can we take from this? As we're approaching a new opportunity, whatever that new opportunity may be, we want to approach these new opportunities with an empty cup. Now, you can go into a business and you can go into a new job and you can kind of think you already know everything about it, right? Like you go into a job as a technician, you're going to go in there, you've learned a lot about networking, or you've learned a lot about being a computer technician, or you've learned a lot about programming or web design or IT in general or whatever. And you've learned a lot and you know a lot and your skills are going to be very, very useful. But you probably don't know everything. And one of the important things to remember is that, especially, you don't know what you don't know. You cannot learn anything if you feel that you already know. So we've talked a lot about going into these opportunities for a new job by presenting yourself and what you bring to the table. And that's how you get these opportunities. But these opportunities are also for you and to help you learn and to help you grow. Because if the job was just giving you the ability to work for someone else and provide what you were good at for someone else, without in turn filling your cup and giving you new skills from this new place, it wouldn't be a very worthwhile job. It's just not how you sell yourself to get that opportunity. And so we kind of see this situation where, no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. And so you enter into these situations and, there are even certain industries, certain businesses that have their own way of doing things. So even if you know a whole lot about networking, about IT, about programming, about being a computer technician, you might not know anything about the way that this particular company takes on their approach to IT, about the way that this particular company takes on their approach to networking or their approach to programming. If you go into a new opportunity with your cup already full, there's nothing for you there. And I think an important thing to consider as we examine this story as well is the idea of my last bullet point here. Because there will be a time in the future when you become the Zen master. Realize here that the Zen master didn't give the teapot to his guest, to this important person, and tell him to fill up his own cup. He took the teapot himself and began to fill up the cup. Now, you could say that that was because he wanted to teach this individual a lesson, and maybe that was the only reason, but I think it's important to point out that fact in this story, that the Zen master took the teapot and started to fill the cup of the guest. Because at one point you will become the Zen master. You will be at that next level where people will be coming to you to ask you questions, ask you to share your knowledge. And it's important for you, in order to pass on what you know, to fill the other people's cup. It's kind of said, of education. Education is kind of like the flame of a candle. Sharing what you know doesn't do anything to diminish your flame, but it helps to brighten the flames of others. So I encourage you all, as you kind of think of this story, and you're out there looking for your new opportunities, and you're taking on new opportunities, I encourage you all to approach them with an empty cup. And go into these opportunities with an open mind. So I hope you remember this story as you continue on. That's all that I have for you for this video. Thank you for watching.